I just got in trouble because I just ran into the neighbor, so I stopped. And he was doing what I should have done. This is why I got in trouble. I didn't take out the trash last night. So it was leaking. And that's the way we started Sunday. Let's go for a walk. I've been going every morning because the weather is perfect. This is why I miss summer so much. Or not just summer, the warm days here in Banja Luka, because this is what I get to do every morning. And when winter comes, this is what I miss the most. They have been fixing this for a couple of months now. And they're trying to connect the whole Verbas with a nice walking path, walking promenade, whatever you want to call it. We'll cross the street and the part of the campus, the university, is finished and it's beautiful. Also, this is part of the routine I've been trying to get back on since we came back from all the trips that we've taken. They were very unexpected, and although we enjoyed a lot, they were very tiring. So trying to get back into the routine of our lives. And I wanted in this video also to share a little bit about those trips, because two of them were just Vera and I, and that's an adventure I'm proud of. All right, here we are. Look at this. How nice is that? So for you to have an idea, it's around 9 a.m. So empty, so nice. It's a Sunday morning. And I really love how they did this here. This is close to Sarajevo. They did it really nicely. And this is supposed to be on that side as well, across the street. There was some drama because there were videos of when they were finishing this work. They were pulling off trees from the banks of the river. And that's pretty controversial. So I don't know what, I'm gonna follow up on what happened there. There was a whole movement about that. I can show you here. I almost got ran over. They did a little amphitheater here. A ramp, cool. Yeah. I wonder if everyone can use this. Can I host something here? This is what I've been doing every morning for the past week. I think I found an okay spot to have a chat. I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about these trips that I had. One of the things that really helps me enjoy my life here and appreciate everything that we have here in Bosnia is leaving for a few days and coming back, kind of like leaving to see how the world is. Get a bit of sometimes, I don't know, I guess I appreciate a lot more my life when I get out of the routine and I see that the things that I have here align way more with a kind of lifestyle that I want to have. Some plans changed unexpectedly in the past few months, and we decided to make these calls of, booking trips. There are two particular ones that I was a bit worried, nervous, excited about, but, I was really preparing for it, and that was traveling alone with Vera, my daughter. She's now 4 years old. Because Jovan was traveling for work, the very first trip was Barcelona. There is a really good flight, Ryanair flight, that goes from Sarajevo to Girona. And we decided to, take that one to meet Jovan in Barcelona, where he was finishing that work trip. And yeah, we packed our things, drove to Sarajevo for the first time alone with Vera. My longest trip here has been Banja Luka, Novi Sad by myself. There's a video about that, and this was like the second longest trip I've ever done, and this time with my daughter, which added an extra layer of stress, but that went well. I'll share more about that in a bit. And from there we took the flight to Girona, which was 2 hours. The thing is that I was nervous about that because it was the first time I was gonna leave the country alone with Vera. She is a Bosnian citizen. She was born here, and she does have her Argentinian passport, but we decided to use her Bosnian one. So we did have to do some paperwork for that. You can fast forward in this video to know more about it. So yeah, I kind of wanted to go through immigration and kind of let my breath out that, okay, this is the right procedure and I did the right thing, and kind of like ripping off that band-aid, like now I can do it more often. That was like a trial, a test for the second trip that we had, which was to Argentina. So Jovan's job extended a bit longer than we expected, which was a great thing. And we thought, you know what, we're gonna be 2 weeks, just Vera and I, in Banja Luka. Why not take the chance to go to Argentina? And for us to spend quality time with my family, get her Spanish-speaking dose. It's been 2 years since we've gone, and I knew these are the things that you know you're going to encounter in life because of your life decisions. You know that time will come eventually. It's, traveling to your home country alone, this time with one kid, hopefully in the future with more. But that was a nice challenge that I feel extremely proud of. I wanted to make this video to share maybe some logistics that could be helpful for any mom. Also as a piece of encouragement, because again, this was something I knew I was going to have to do eventually. Having chosen to live here, being from such a faraway country, marrying someone from across the globe and deciding to live here, I think in the rush or in the process of settling down and dealing with other things, of course, you can never foresee all the things you will come across that you need to decide on. And our daughter is 4 now. Of course, when she was a baby, I personally didn't feel comfortable traveling alone with her, and there's so many mothers who do that, and I'm really hats off. Of course, being a first-time mom is a whole new world. Who knows with the second one? Cha! There's a Dayak. So yeah, I think that becoming familiar with the idea that, this could be something that you can and will do. I think when you have preparation, of course, there's a certain amount of things that you can't plan or foresee. You can only be so prepared. And then when you're on the flight, it happens, whatever happens. But I think the fact that I felt well prepared in advance, that really gave me the confidence. Change of plans, amigos. We have to get the trash bags if I want to go back home. It's full of dads with the kids. The mom is obviously taking Sunday morning off. You see? Dads everywhere. I don't know how many of you know, but Jovan and I were cabin crew, so we did see quite a few things on the plane, and we have some experience when it comes to flying. And this is why we were so prepared, because we've seen passengers, situations where, at the passport control, security, even on the plane. So since you are paying so much money for such a long trip, considering I'm from Argentina, it's one of the most expensive tickets there are, I really was stressed about all of it going well. I don't know if this helps anyone, and I do get this question from friends when it comes to booking tickets. I personally don't prefer to book them through a third-party platform. Maybe I should be advertising them as a content creator, but I can't do that because the thing is, with third-party platforms, the airline kind of gets rid of their responsibility to answer for anything that could happen. So we prefer to book tickets directly on the website of the airline. That's really a huge advice I can give you. Usually what we do is we use Google Flights, and then we go directly to the website and we book accordingly. I paid 1,100 euros per person to go from Zagreb to Cordoba, where my family is. And that had 2 stops, one in Amsterdam and one in Rio. That only included a cabin bag. And we went for 2 weeks. So the price was okay. The cabin bag was kind of throwing me off, but truthfully, we took a cabin bag each, Vera and I, and we didn't wear everything that we took because it was winter and we were not out much. What's the good thing about having actually a suitcase that you can dispatch in the cargo is that you have your free hands, and that's exactly what I wanted to have being with a toddler. So you are entitled to a cabin bag and a backpack. We both had a backpack. I was carrying Vera's backpack, and the cabin bag, you can ask them to send it to cargo if it's not over 10 kilos. We flew with KLM. They are my preference, not only because of the service, the quality, but their connections are great. I love Amsterdam airport for connections. And the thing I wanted to say is you will see that the tickets are cheaper if your connection is longer. My absolute preference, since she arrived in the family, connections really suck for kids. That's our opinion. And personally, it doesn't make sense to save money on a couple of hundreds of dollars, probably, for the sake of spending endless hours at the airport. So we only had between 2 and 3 hours connection at the airports. Another thing to consider or look at, maybe read reviews, is how kid-friendly are certain airports. Amsterdam airport, again, I'm a huge fan of KLM and Amsterdam. And then we landed in Rio de Janeiro. Not very kid-friendly, no strollers, no trolleys for the suitcases and so on. So that's something to consider if you want to foresee or prepare yourself. From Zagreb, I asked the staff at the check-in counter, please, can you dispatch? And they say, yeah, that's okay, because, you know, you're entitled to dispatch it if it's under 10 kilos. And, you know, he told me I was with Vera. So luckily, we only carried our backpacks and we got our bags in Cordoba. Wonderful. The thought of, because you never know if the aircraft is going to be attached to, what is it called? I forgot already. It's not a gate. Una manga in Spanish. Or is it going to be stairs and then you have to walk? We had that situation a couple of times and I thought, oh my God, if I had the cabin bags and Vera, which sometimes she was falling asleep. So really, if you're traveling alone and you have luggage, ask the ground staff, can you please dispatch it? What to carry on the plane? Definitely a change of clothes. If you can pack even two changes of clothes, you never know what's gonna spill on you, how the child is going to be. Vera actually threw up on the way back on the longest leg, and we had change of clothes for myself and for her because she threw up on both of us and on our seat. Snacks and food, because you don't know if your child is going to like what they offer on the plane and there's not a lot of options. Also, maybe the shorter legs, they will give you crackers or a small sandwich. So I packed lots of snacks. Oh my God, as I'm editing this, and water, take your thermal bottle for both of you and always get water. In my case right now, Vera is 4 years old, so she is really into coloring and all this creative stuff. So I did pack coloring books, colors, markers, and also there was an activity of dynamic, engaging activities of like connecting the arrows, connecting, I don't know, which is very entertaining for her, and I got that as well. But I've been traveling with her since she was 3 months old. When she was 3 months old, of course, I was, she was on my boat the whole time, but then I want to say 6-7 months, when she starts to move and be a bit stronger, it was a bit more difficult. So we did have the kangaroo and we would walk around the airplane with her. Then when she was a bit like over a year and she started to like crawl, move around, that's when we really had to get her entertained, and we got things like stickers, tape, I wish I had them here, the magnets. We wrapped things in wrapping paper a couple of times. So clean after yourself when possible. If you're a parent traveling with kids, especially if they're messy, clean after yourself. Flights and airport, I would say those things. And yeah, look out for strollers, because you'd be surprised I think you only start seeing these things when you become a parent and you need them, but there are strollers in some airports. Also, security, they will allow you to take food, especially if it's still a baby. You can take formula, you can take like those, baby food, that's allowed. There should be a certain size, amount, quantity, and also it has to be in those Ziploc bags. Everything I'm telling you is on the official website of the airline that you booked your ticket with. Now we have AI and Google and everything. So these are black and white. If you actually see this on the official sites and then you come across someone who is challenging you, but you know your stuff, that happens a lot during our flying times. If you know your stuff, you know how to find the rules, you know your rights, and you know what you're entitled to, you can stand your ground. You will also see that lots of airports have like a designated line for families, for kids, and you'll be surprised to see how many strangers help you. Be mindful, be aware, don't be like trusting everyone, but you'll be surprised to see how many people you come across are willing to help you, and that's very nice to see. To be honest, I can't recall like a terrible experience. Probably maybe when I got on the bus off the plane, like you go take the bus and then no one is giving you their seat. Vera is 4 years old now. If she would have been a baby, I would probably said something, but there's weird people everywhere. Legally and documents, that's the part that was kind of stressing me, because again, she has a dual nationality, but we were gonna travel with her Bosnian passport and we were traveling without the father. So for both cases, for the flight that went to Barcelona and the flight to Argentina, I got a permit that we made. We went with Jovan to the city hall, the Opština municipality, and there's actually a paper there. Both of us go there with your identification, and you fill in that the other parent gives you consent to go where, for how long, and that paper is certified, notified, like legalized and so on. But I wanted to have peace of mind, so I went to translate it into Spanish and apostille it. Since I was traveling with the KLM, I referred to their rules and their requirements, and also there's another website that's like official website when traveling with minors. I'm gonna leave the links below. But on their official website, it said that I needed legalized translated permit from the other parent. That's what it said. That's what I did. Did anybody ask for it? Did anybody ask for it? Absolutely not. Only when we left Bosnia, we were going to Spain, we used Vera's Argentinian passport. So we were both Argentinians with different last name. The immigration officer in Bosnia asked me, "Is this your child?" I said, "Yes, I have this permit, I have her birth certificate, I have my marriage certificate." He said, "That's fine, just like show me, birth certificate." So I showed it and it's okay. I arrived in Spain, no one asked me for anything. Then when we traveled to Argentina, no one asked for anything. When we exited Schengen, from Amsterdam to Brazil, and even when I arrived to Argentina, no one asked. When I exited Argentina, I asked the immigration officer, and he said if you would have used her Argentinian passport trying to exit with an Argentinian citizen, we would have asked. But truthfully, no one asked. Do I recommend you to absolutely always have this permit? Yes. Can you imagine the chaos? I think those are all the things I wanted to mention. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. If you are a parent who travels solo with your kid, share any advice or how was your experience. I want to encourage to put information out there, because the more I speak with ladies and friends here, it's like we are all at this stage where our kids have grown, kind of like into toddlers, and then maybe because of work or other circumstances, the possibilities of traveling along with your child will come. And I think the idea is to share the information. We can feel supported, accompanied, but also empowered. Oh my gosh, because I cannot tell you how empowered I feel after doing this. And now I'm checking more flights. Where can I go? Where can I drive? Like, I drove and I took a flight with Vera. She is great. introducing traveling to kids, I know it could be like a stressful idea, but if you make it into a lifestyle, I don't know, like having introduced traveling to Vera from such a young age, this child took herself on a trip on her own. So that was really fantastic and helpful for me to feel encouraged to do it more often. So I want to share that empowerment and encouragement to you as well. Thank you for listening, for watching. I hope this helps. Y nos vemos.